Moving on with battle games, Paths of Peril.
Ooh.
This one is carefully moving across tightrope paths.
That doesn't sound as exciting as you...
It's just control stick to move. If you fall off, then you'll lose time as the Lakitu picks you back up.
Well, then that's less perilous than it even sounded.
So, here you're on these like, cliffs, and you're running across, and it splits, the path splits. There's, 2 different ways you can go, and you pick a path, and one of the paths is, like, this, sharp right angles, so it's easier to turn along, but it's a lot longer, whereas the other path is, like, these curves, and you can go, faster. It's a shorter path, but it's harder to maintain along the curves. The paths are the same every time you play the game, so if you've played enough, you can memorize which paths go to which, which directions go to which paths, and you can pick which ones are, like, the shorter ones, or if you're not as confident with your movement, you can pick the ones that are at the right angles. Whoever gets there first is in first place, and then it's a race, who gets there first. Bowser's Bigger Blast. We have seen this in every Mario Party game so far. At least all of the ones that have a battle game. I don't think it was in the first one. Anyway, one of the switches will detonate the bomb. Don't push that one. Push a different one. Pick a thing. You have 5 seconds to pick a switch. If the timer runs out, it will automatically pick the switch that you're standing in front of. So, this is one of those games where I set down the controller and let it play itself, and I have exactly the same odds of winning as if I tried. So yeah, you choose one, and if you picked the wrong one, then it's gonna explode, and then you're knocked out. And the first person who's knocked out is the 4th place in the battle. And then it moves on, and then there's fewer switches, and then
yeah, why do they keep playing this game?
So, in Mario Party 4, this actually makes some sense because you get the choice of games. If you have landed on a battle space and you have no confidence in your ability to actually play minigames, if you don't think that you are skilled enough at the games to do well, you can always pick this and make it completely luck-based. So this is an option that gives you the ability to not have to rely on skill. Like, there's the different battle minigames all have, like, varying levels of luck versus skill, and so that it does create, like, a strategic thing for you to do. So it makes sense for a completely luck-based game to be here this time. I still don't like it, because I'm actually good at the minigames. But, you know, it's a good option for, like, if you have friends you are playing the game with, which is ostensibly what you do with the Mario Party game.
This also implies, then, that you have a friend who is both tactically minded and bad at the game.
Well, maybe bad at, like, mini-games. Bad at, like, the running around. Or maybe they know that you're better at them.
Like...
Yeah, it's still stupid and weird, but it's
They have
something.
to know this ahead of time!
Something.
It's the problem.
Anyway, Butterfly Blitz. You're catching butterflies. You have a net, and you're catching butterflies, and whoever gets the most points at the end of a minute wins.
We go from explosions to butterflies.
So you move around with the stick. A does an overhead swing, B does a side swing. Yellow butterflies are 1 point, red butterflies are 2, and blue are 3. Whoever has the most points worth of butterflies at the end of the minute wins.
We distinguish by colors.
Now, this is a little awkward depending on what character you've picked, because the net will always have the same arc for every different character, but the animation will look different, because, like, Waluigi is much taller, so his base, like, the base point where he is holding the net looks higher than everybody else. But when he actually swings it, it's at the same level and motion as everybody else.
Right, he arcs down.
So it's a little awkward. If you play one character and then try a different character, it might look weird. Like again with Waluigi and Donkey Kong in particular, it just looks weird. I found it a little bit harder to play with them. But otherwise it's a fairly simple game. You try to swing to grab the butterflies. I pretty much always go straight for the blue ones. And that works out really well for me. As you can see here, when it, totals up our scores. First, it totals up all of the yellow butterflies that you got, and all of the red ones, and then all of the blue ones, and as you can see here, the computer players tend to grab a lot of yellow butterflies, and I tend to get double the score of anybody else, or more. So,
Welp.
Yeah, I like that one because it was easy. Rumble Fishing. This is the other minigame. There's only 2 of the set that have, that utilize the rumble in a meaningful way. Actually, no, the, Mario Speedwagons used the rumble as well to tell you when to shift up gears. Anyway, this one, it's just push A when at the right time to catch the fish. So, you'll get, like, you'll just sit here, and the controller will rumble when it's time to grab the fish. Or if you have rumble turned off, you get the exclamation mark. And whoever presses it with the closest timing is first, and then, from there, based on how closely you timed it to the right moment, is the rankings in there. So that's an incredibly fast one. You also have the Bowser games available. You can just play them whenever you want. We already saw the Bowser games, so we're not going to do them again.
Okay.
The story minigames, you can play all of the story minigames that you got for earning your presents after winning a board. And the etc., which has the final battle and the 2 minigames that you can play against Bowser on Gnarly Party. And I just wanted to show off real quick a couple of things about some of these story minigames. In Archaeologus, as time ticks down, the shapes will spin slower, and then it's much, much easier to see which one is different. And if the timer runs out, then nobody earns a point for that, that shape. And at the end of 5 shapes, then the game is over, even if nobody got points. So, it's a little weird. It is entirely possible to actually get a draw in this game. And so, yeah.
And nobody gets furniture.
Things, it slows down. If you run out of time on chip flip, you don't get to flip a chip. And it just goes to the other player. If you run out of time in Final Battle, you just die.
Same. Wait.
So, that's all of the minigames.
Good!
Now, let's take a look at some other modes.
No.
Here. So that was free play mode, looking at all of the things. There's a team play mode.
Okay.
I don't know why this exists.
What is this?
Because you set up a team of 2v2.
Okay.
And then you play 2v2 games. You can just pick a 2v2 game in free play mode, and then pick your team. The only purpose that this mode has is if you wanted to play a bunch of 2v2 games in a row with the same team. And it saves you a little bit of time because you're not needing to pick the team. I don't know why this exists.
Cool.